cuties. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. All right, guys, today is February the 2nd, 2023, Thursday. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a 7. It was a solid episode. Now we see Kyle and Jack, and Jack is reading Kyle the riot act because he said, "Hey, I know what you've been doing. I know you're trying to work with Victor to take Adam down." And Kyle says, "Well, have you looked at his work? I've talked to other executives over like the different branches of the office, and it's mediocre at best." And Jack says, "I've talked to them, and that was none of your business." He said, "Now you are right. He started off strong and he's really cooled off." And he says, "Well, he's dialing it in most days from society." I said, "Baby, we've been saying that for weeks, that he's never at work. He's always at society." But truth be told, we see Jack at work, but it's always personal stuff he has going on as well. And to be honest with you, when you're the CEO and all of that, you're not really making that many decisions. Like, usually it's the people under you that are really working, and you're just passing work off to them. And it's not that deep. It isn't. But anyways, Kyle doesn't want him there, so he's upset that Jack would even think about having uh, Adam continue to work there when he's just not that interested in the job. And so he wants Adam fired, and he says, "Listen, Kyle, that is not your decision. That is not your choice. It is mine. And Victor certainly has no place in this company. So I don't know, whatever you thought you had going on with him, don't do it." And so Kyle tries to say like he's not doing anything with Victor. He's just been looking at Adam's work. And Jack said, "I said what I said. Now let's move on, because I want to talk about your mama." And Kyle said he had a good conversation with Diane, and she did promise him that no matter what happens between she and Jack, that she was going to stick around and they would always have a relationship. And she doesn't want to mess that up. And Jack says, "Well, good. I'm glad you were reassured." And he said, "I'm hesitantly optimistic." And it's like, okay, whatever. And then Jack is just like, "Well, your mom and I, we're good. We're your parents are together again." I said, "This baby isn't 10. This child is not 10." I don't understand when people get older and stuff and care about who their parents are with. I never have understood that. Like, why do you care? Aren't you an adult with your own life? Like, what do you care who your parents are with? If the person is not bad, well, see, that's the problem with Kyle. He doesn't 100% trust Diane. And that's why he can't be 100% supportive of this relationship, because he's waiting for the other shoe to drop. And baby, you could tell the way they were setting this episode up, there's another shoe that's going to drop. Let's move on. So then we go to Victor and Summer, and she pretty much tells her granddad, "Knock it off." All this, like, I don't want Kyle into any other stuff, because she said it's enough dealing with everything he's dealing with Diane. And she said, so I don't want him into any more stuff. And she said, and then Adam, why would you want him back into the fold? Like, he's manipulative. He uses people to get his way. He'll do a kind deed, but he always wants something in return. I said, baby, are you describing Victor? You're describing your granddad, sister. Like, who Adam got it. He got it honest. He got it honest. He got it from Victor. That's an honest way to get it, because you're describing Victor. But see, I don't know why, but people let Victor get away with what he wants to get away with. And they're just like, "Oh, that's Victor." And it's like, no, y'all can't be mad at Adam for doing exactly what Victor does. I don't understand this. And he says, "Well, Adam's my son." And she said, "But to sabotage him, to make him come back, I don't understand that, granddad. Like, that don't seem like it's going to work on Adam. But Victor knows best. Victor knows best." So, anyways, that's all. She just told him, "Stop trying to involve Kyle in this. We don't keep secrets from each other." So he told me everything, and I don't want him involved. And he was like, he ain't tell her nothing. He gonna involve Kyle because Kyle wants to be involved. He's not at this point. This is Kyle feeding Victor the information. But anyway, so then we move on to Adam and Chelsea, and he tells Chelsea, "I am doing a horrible job at Jabot." He's not a horrible job, but a mediocre, because he says, I ain't interested in selling perfume and lipstick and all that. It's not exciting work for him. And so he was like, I started off strong, but now I just, I don't. He said, that's what kills me. Because he was telling her about Victor trying to sabotage him. And he said, that's what kills me about it is he was right. I hate this job. And she said, why? And he said, I don't know. I don't like the people I work that work under me. He said everyone, no one likes him. It's just not challenging to him. And she said, so if Victor did give you a company that you would want to run, like McCall International or McCall Industry, she didn't say that. I'm just thinking, would you? And he said, he would. Adam would. He would love to run something like that. And he doesn't have to worry about new media. He doesn't have to answer to Victoria or even work closely with Nick. He could have his own division. He could just run it for Victor. That Victor, right? That would be perfect for Adam. But he doesn't like the way Victor is going about it. That's what makes him not want to do it. That's what makes. And I said, if these two are too much alike, and so they're talking or whatever, and she's just trying to figure out what's going on with you because everybody always is so concerned. And I'm gonna be honest about Chelsea's mental health, and you can't even say anything bad about Chelsea because they'll be like, her mental health and everything. But nobody is concerned about Adams. They just took it over. Adam, oh, Adam, you know what I mean? And Chelsea can see something is going on with you. What is it? But then Billy, Johnny, and Connor come and they sit down, and Adam is looking at them, and he could clearly tell this is like a family. And that's what Victoria's scared of too. Because Chelsea and Billy were like the mom and the dad, and then they had their two sons arguing, you know, going back and forth with each other. And I know Adam is Connor's dad, but I'm just saying that's how it looked. And so Adam was just sitting back like, because they're cracking jokes about, oh, these old people. They were just, y'all do what y'all do, talk about old movies and y'all don't fall too hard. I said, baby, when you get a certain age, you don't want to fall too hard. Anyways, so that's all. That's what they were talking about with them. So it's all that's what it is. And then Billy says, Chelsea, you still on for tonight? And so Adam's looking at all this. He like, Connor, come on, let's go. So then Billy goes to Chelsea's because he's taking her out to dinner as a friend. And she said, oh my gosh, I changed my outfit so many times. Going out to dinner is a big deal for me and everything. And he says, I'm happy to take you. I said, I know y'all love these two, but I don't want to see this. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't want to see it. So then we go over here to Diane and Nikki, and Diane and Nikki are talking. And she's just pretty much, Nikki put him Diane on blast. I know what you did. And they could put camera. I said, Nikki, stop bluffing. You know you don't have no camera. And even if you did, Diane is absolutely right. You wouldn't turn Jack in. And you are happy that Jeremy Starks is gone. And so this is what people who don't care for Diane don't like about her. You stole from this woman. Okay, we get it. Why are you playing in this woman's face about it? She knows you stole from her. Instead of just leaving it alone, you have to come up to her. You have to antagonize her and do all of this, do all of that when she knows you stole from her, and she could turn you in. She could tell them to investigate more that she doesn't think it's Jeremy. So just leave it alone. But Nikki said, you're looking very smug. You must be in that Abbott household. Oh no, you haven't got in there yet. You don't want to be too obvious. She said, but you and Jack, that the excitement drew you closer, didn't it? And so she's just like, yeah, that's it. But Diane is just saying, well, Phyllis shouldn't have brought Jeremy Starks into town, and everybody's glad he's gone. And Nikki said, well, you should be thanking Phyllis. It turned out great for you. And she said, oh, I might send her a thank you. It drew you and Jack closer. And she said, oh, I might send you a thank you letter. And Nikki said, I wouldn't do that because Phyllis is in for the long game. And when all this blows up in your face, and it will, she'll throw that back in your face. And I said, and so Diane's just like, Nikki, everything has worked out, and everything, you're just gonna have to get used to me, because Jack and I have grown closer. And she kind of hints at they're in a relationship and everything. And so y'all are just gonna have to get used to me. And she leave Nikki sitting right there. And so then Nikki talks to Victor, and she's like, "Ugh, Diane, she's just so smug, and I know that she was the one who did it." And Victor said, "Oh, leave her and Jack alone. They deserve each other, because they both think, it won't be long and Diane gonna be doing something." That's what Kyle thinks too. And so then we see Chance come over to Jack's house, and he tells him it's official police business. I said, "Chance, get this man this money and go on. Because if you're not going to investigate, what are we doing right now? What are we doing if you're not going to investigate what exactly was going on?" And he's not. So leave this man alone and go on about your business. And so, but he tells Jack, "Why didn't you tell me? Jeremy said you loaned him this money, because Jeremy was in prison for money laundering, so he doesn't need anyone associating him with that." He said you loaned him the money, and because it wasn't obtained illegally, Jeremy had to give it back." And I said, "Really, writers? Really?" So not only do you bring Jeremy Starks on and talk, he's so dangerous. He's so dangerous. We never saw Jeremy do anything that was dangerous. Not only do you bring him on and then nothing comes to it, but even a little money that he had, because we know he was broke, because that's what y'all kept telling us, he was broke. Even a little money, you like, "Oh, we're gonna give it back to him." I said, "Baby, I don't know. That was a waste of a story to me. It was a waste of a story." But anyway, Chance is suspicious of Jack, but Jack, and I said, look how Jack acted. He can't even talk to police and make it look like he is innocent. Because remember when Chance was trying to question Victor, and Victor was like, "You tell me what you got." Because I'm not under the arrest, so you tell me what you got. Don't ask me questions and everything. But anyways, that was it with them. And so then Diane talks to Jack, and she tells her Chance was over, and she was like, "Really?" He said, "No, he got the money back." And he was like, "I put it in the safe." I said, "Mm-hmm." I don't know. I don't trust Diane. But he was like, "I put it in the safe." And he said, she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you got your money back, yada, yada, yada." And he said, she told him it's been a long day. And he's like, "What happened?" And she said, "I ran into Nikki, and she all but said that we were the ones who took the necklace, but I called her, and she knew it, but I called her bluff on it, and so she doesn't have any evidence." And he was like, "Good for you." And I was like, "Really, Jack?" And so then she says, "Oh, and I spoke too much." And he was like, "What'd you tell her?" And she said, "I told her we were closer and all that." I said, "Baby, you didn't tell too much for Jack, because his nose is wide open." But honestly, Jack is such a hypocrite. Diane will throw it up in people's faces that she's with him, but when Phyllis brought him downstairs so that Diane could see that they were together, oh my gosh, she was the worst. Get out of stop playing. Stop playing. But anyways, he's just like, "I'm glad I talked to Kyle, and he knows everything is gonna be fine. We're gonna work out." I said, "Baby, this is not gonna work out fine. I'm sorry. The way they are setting this up, something else is about to happen with Diane, but we'll see, y'all." So then Summer and Kyle are talking, right? Because she goes to the office and she gives him a hug, and she was like, "I needed that." And he was like, "I'm not complaining." And she said she talked to her granddad, and she told him, "Leave Kyle alone." And he said, "Yeah, my dad found out that I was gonna be helping your dad, and he pretty much read me the right act." And she said, "So see, aren't you glad that you didn't get involved?" And he looking at her all guilty, and she was like, "Kyle." But around this time, Adam comes in, and Adam says, "Summer, your husband tell you what he's doing? Because I know y'all talk to each other, so I know he's trying to sabotage me with your dad." And they're like, "Adam, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not the case." And Kyle says, "Why don't you just admit you don't want to be here?" And Adam just looks at them, and he leaves out the office. I say, "Y'all need to leave Adam alone, because he has not been plotting or messing with anyone. Y'all keep complaining about how bad Adam is, but he hasn't done anything, but he will." Like, he will. And y'all keep messing with him, and you gonna turn him back into old Adam, because this is like mild hip Adam. And so Summer turned and looked at it. at Kyle, and she was just like, because she already know he's still on it. And y'all, that was the Young and the Restless today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened, the final episode of the week of What Happened on the Soaps, the Young and the Restless edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.